Look, chicken nuggets don't really need an introduction. These craveable little golden nugs of joy hold a special place in our hearts, which is exactly why I wanted to share them with you. And I honestly can't think of a way to improve on this recipe, which is why I'm ready to share it now. And I'm so excited to do it, so let's get into it. To get started, we're gonna make the Seitan recipe for my perfect chicken seitan video. So for a refresher, go ahead and blend 6 ounces of pressed firm tofu, 2/3 cup of water, your dry ingredients listed in the description, and 1 tablespoon of veggie oil. Mix that into 1 cup of vital wheat gluten, and then knead the dough by hand vigorously for 5 to 10 minutes, or use a stand mixer like me for 3 to 5 minutes on low to medium speed. The dough will not form appropriately if it isn't agitated. On a workspace, twist off pieces of the dough to make your nuggets. I made them roughly about the size of a large thumb like mine, and then flatten them into little nugs. If you tear off too little or too much, you can put some back or add some more. The dough is really sticky, so I would recommend using a harder surface than I did, so that you don't get bits of gluten stuck in your cutting board. They will not expand from this size, so this is the last chance for you to get them exactly how you want them. And don't worry about them being symmetrical. The animal-based versions aren't perfect either, and I actually prefer them to be a little unique. It gives them character and makes them special. Hey, just like you. Anyway, I was able to make exactly 20 nuggets like this, but you'll end up with more or less depending on how big your nuggies are, obviously. Go ahead and add your shaped nuggets to the wire rack on top of a baking sheet and bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. Once baked, gently drop your nuggets into a gently simmering stock for 20 minutes, making sure that it doesn't boil. Boiling will form holes in the gluten, and we don't want holy nugs. Once simmered, let them cool to room temperature and store them in a simmering stock in the fridge for 8 hours or overnight. This step is critical to develop the full texture needed. Sometimes I even just put a lid on the pot and put the whole thing in the fridge if I'm using it the next day. After your nuggets get a little nap, it is time to turn them into beautiful golden nuggets of goodness. To fry, add 2 inches of peanut oil to a deep pot and heat it to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or as close to that as you can get. While that's getting to temp, let's make the wash. So to a bowl add a half cup of plant milk, I'm using full fat oat milk here, 5 grams of salt, a splash of vinegar, I'm using apple cider vinegar. Then you mix it to combine. For the breading station, add 50 grams of flour, 25 grams of cornstarch, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika to taste, 1 teaspoon of MSG, 1 tablespoon kosher salt, and then add about a 1/4 cup of your chicken wash into your dredge, using a fork to mix it into clumps in the flour. This is going to create nice fried bits in the nuggets. Now using one hand for the dry and another for the wet, get your chicken nuggets coated generously in the wash and then move them to the flour immediately, pressing down aggressively on each so all the surface area gets covered, including the edges. Don't press down too hard though, these boys can be a little fragile, so use your judgment here. I'm just breading one to show you, but I would do all of your nugs prior to frying. Now that your nuggets are coated and your oil is a temp, gently place your nuggets in the fry oil, making sure not to cause a splash. Again, I'm just doing one here, but you could do several at a time. Just know that the more you add, the more the temperature of the oil will cool. Make sure to keep your high heat thermometer handy and adjust the burner as needed. After a few minutes, they will become golden brown, and that is your signal to know to remove them from the oil. Hey, check that out. That's a nice looking nugget. Once they're all fried up, serve them however you'd like. I like mine with ketchup and buffalo sauce. Look, you can get these at the store. You can go to the freezer section and get those. Those are great too, don't get me wrong. But making your own has massive benefits. We really use a lot of poultry seasoning, and that is what's gonna give you that like signature chicken sort of flavor and aroma as well. These smell great too. What's also great about this, makes a ton. When you make the dough, you could like use half for chicken nuggets. You could do half with like chicken burgers. All in all, get in there, make this, be nice to each other, and keep cooking.